Yeah, you're welcome to this live today because I made puff the other day and posted it, and a lot of people were asking how is it made, how did you make it, how did you arrive, I didn't show us how you started. Okay, don't worry, I'm going to start it from the scratch so that everybody will get to see. And did you know that puff is very easy to make? Puff it's very easy to make, and it's something you can just make at the comfort of your house anytime, any day. Okay, right now what to use for making puff, or what I'm going to use now will be flour. You can use any flour you like. See the quantity of flour I use. Any flour at all you like, you can use it. Then you can now add, of course, the major ingredient for this puff making is, apart from that flour, is your yeast. The yeast is the rising agent, the agent that will make your puff to rise up. You know, can use any type. I like this because it gives me the ability to just either use one sachet or two, depending on the quantity of the thing I'm making. Okay, this is just the one I'm going to use. I'm going to use one of it. It's not much. I'm not making much. I'm going to just use one. Okay, and the next thing you use, of course, your salt. A pinch of salt, very little salt, not much. Then of course sugar. Then if you like, some people use water. Back then in the days we used to use water to make our puff, but today I want to use milk because I'm making it just for private use. I'm not making it for any special deal, and it's like we all drink milk in the house, so there's nothing like somebody having allergy for milk. So I'm going to use milk to as water. Okay, so the first thing you do, depending on the way you like it, puff, I like puff in a way that there is no particular method you use. There's no, it doesn't, no particular sequence for making it. You can use any method at all. You can decide to put everything before you start mixing. You can decide to put it inside water. Okay, like now I'm putting the yeast first. Put it straight. Back in the days we soak it inside water because there's this kind of yeast we used to have in those days that used to be very, very coarse and strong. So we put inside water, allow it to soak, so that you'll be sure that it has melted. Then the next thing you will do is to just a little bit of salt, depending on the quantity of puff you want to make. Very little quantity of salt, just to balance out the taste. You doesn't have to add any particular taste to it. Then the next thing you do is, of course, your sugar. Some people don't like sugar, some like sugar, but here I'm making it for general use, so I'm going to add a fair enough quantity of sugar. That I said, there's no particular method to use in making puff. Any method at all you use, it will come out perfect. That's one thing people don't know. Okay, I think this is enough sugar that I've added. Remember, I added sugar, I added salt, and I've added the yeast. Okay, I can just add a little bit of sugar because I'm going to make this on soft. I'm going to add a lot of liquid. It's not going to be concentrated. So the next thing you do is to add your water. You use your hand to knead it. Because when you use your hand, it will bring out that drawing effect. When you use your hand and work on it, it will bring out that drawing effect that you see puff has. When you eat it, it will kind of draw. Okay, if you don't use your hand and knead it, it might not give you that effect. So I'm going to wash my hands. Let me bring milk first. Let me bring the milk because my weather here is very cold. So if I put everything cold, it will take time before the puff will rise. So I decided to warm my milk so that at least it will not be too cold, so that within 1 hour, 2 hours, the puff will rise. That's why I had to warm the milk, and this is it. Let me just wash my hands so that I'll use my hands to knead it, and everything will be perfect. Everything will be perfect. Just keep watching you guys. So this is the milk. I just pour. I'm pouring. I'm checking it to make sure that I'm not supposed to add too much water. I'm not supposed to add too much. I'm supposed to add just enough. Okay, you need it. You rub it in a way that it will form a kind of a sequence. The consistency will be what you want. Okay, can you see what I'm doing? Okay, just knead it, make it to form a kind of will I say paste? Yeah. So you now add more milk. I think they will be okay. And you now dissolve it gradually. It also, I think the reason why we used to put to dissolve the yeast inside water in those days was to make it to rise quickly. When you dissolve it inside water and you introduce it into the main puff pot, it would have already activated it. All the time you would have wasted to dissolve, you would have taken care of that. So when you now put inside the puff up, it will start acting immediately. Don't mind my face. I'm doing woman's thing on my face, so don't mind the way it is. I'm just doing woman's thing. So you dissolve the puff puff. Remember what you added to the puff puff is added yeast. You added sugar. Of course, you put off flour is the major ingredient for the puff puff. Then you added yeast. Some yeast they come in plastic, and you just scoop it. But this one I'm using came in sachet, so I just picked one sachet because I'm making quite a small quantity of puff puff. Then remember to add a pinch of salt. Okay, of course, you know, added sugar, and you need it, make it to, because you can find some lumps inside the flour, so you be careful, you be gentle to make sure that all the lumps are dissolved. Otherwise you have an uneven puff puff. It's not good eating, some parts will be sweet and some parts will not be sweet. So that's why you have to gently rub it in and make sure it is smooth. Make sure it's smooth. See the consistency I have. But because I said I want it to be a little bit soft, I don't want it to be strong. I might have to add a little bit of milk more so that it will give me that result that I need. It will make it to be very soft. Okay, so this is your puff puff. And remember, after, because I'm in a very cold region, I'm not going to be able to say I will wait for 2 hours or 1 hour, or I will just keep on checking it. Before you fry the puff puff, the size of the puff puff should have become 2. The double of the size you make should be the size that you realize by the time you just add a little bit of liquid more, because I really want it to be soft. I really want it to be soft. I don't want it to be strong like donut. Okay, so you cover it very well and put it in a warm place. Put it, because where I am is a bit cold, so I might be tempted to put it in the microwave and close it, make it airtight and wait for it to rise. It's supposed to be double this size. The size of the puff puff should be double of this before I can consider it ready for frying. So by the time it has risen, we'll come back and we'll bring it out and we'll fry it together. Or what do you say? Just hold on. In the next 2 hours, hopefully it will have given us the size we want. Then we can now bring it out and fry it. So when you are sealing it, you can either use foil to cover it, or you use a clean film to cover it, or if you have a tight fitting cover, like this one is tight fitting, you can just use it and cover it neatly, lock it in. And if you are using a transparent bowl, it will be very perfect, because there you will now see when it's rising, you know the size. You know its size before you now know it's consider it to be ready for frying. If you put it in a bowl that is not transparent, that means you have to be opening and be checking. You have to be opening and be checking. But this one, because I don't need to open it until it's ready for frying, because it's in a transparent bowl. I'll just see the size. Once the size has become like double of this size now, then I'll know it's ready for frying. So how do you make your own puff puff? Drop it at the comment section. That's all of us can learn. I said this one I use flour, ordinary flour to make it. Added yeast. See the yeast I used. My own came in sachet. I just took one sachet because the quantity of puff I'm making is small. Then I use milk instead of water for reasons that I don't want, because I'm making it for private use. I can use water. I can use milk. Everybody say it's okay. Nobody's allergic to milk. But if I'm making it for the general public, the best thing is for you to use water, because you wouldn't know who is allergic to milk and who is, who have problems if the person takes milk. So, but because everybody here is okay with milk, I'm using milk. I had to warm it because the weather is cold, to give it the added ability to rise. Then I added a pinch of salt. So what do you use in making your own puff puff? And where are you watching me from? Drop it at the comment section. What other thing do you want us to practice? Like this year I'll fry it. You can even check my other video where I was frying puff puff. You can check. There's a video I dropped about puff puff. You check at the sections, you see puff puff making. You see it where I was frying already made puff puff. So this one is the aspect I didn't cover on the video, and people were asking me, why didn't you cover the aspect of preparing it? Why did I just show us frying? So I now had to make this one to show them. So if you, but I'll bring it back. By the time it's okay, it's ready for frying, I'll bring it back, come live again. I'll showcase different, so all of us can fry it together. So be watching out in the next 2 hours or thereabouts. It will be ready for frying, because my weather, as I said, is cold here. It might not rise immediately, and I'm even going to put it inside microwave. Let me even warm the microwave so it will be warm before I put it in, so that it will help it. So that's what you must do. You warm the microwave, make sure the microwave is a little bit warm before you introduce it there, and you off it, allow it to rise on its own. So as I said, this is puff puff making. The way you mix it, the ingredients we use to make puff puff, and this is that time for us to put it. These are the kind of little things we women need to learn, need to know how to make it, to spice up your family's relationship. It to make the children to be happier. From time to time, you just surprise them with one delicacy or the other, and you find out that they are happy with you. Yeah, mommy, thank you. You see them saying thank you. Let me just put up my hands. You see the children jumping up and down. For that period you are making this puff, everybody jumping up and down, everybody is happy. Even your husband or your partner may even be there. Everybody will share in it. And if they don't like puff puff, they can make donuts, or you can make chin chin, you can make buns, you can make meat pie, you can make fish roll, you can make meat pie, you can make meat rolls. Any of the delicacies, not that you cannot go outside and buy them, no, but it's like bringing the family together. It brings the family together. Everybody will sit around and you are making it, and they eat the one that has been made by mom at home. They will eat the homemade one. It tastes better. It adds unity. Yes, anything you can do that bring the whole family together, for them to stay together, play together, eat together. Okay, as I started preparing this one, my son just came around and said, Mommy, I'm coming to watch the ingredients you're putting inside this one. I'll make sure they put the right ingredients. Showing me that he's interested. He is interested in this one, in this puff-puff. Only ordinary puff-puff, true, you can buy it small amount, you can buy and feed her, but it can never be the same as what you're making in the house, because it's a way of bringing your family together, making them to eat together, making them to play and make fun with each other together for that short period. It can add something to your family. So go and learn. If you are there and you watch me to this time, I'm making puff puff. The other time I showcased where I was frying puff puff. So people ask me, how do they mix it? So that's why I'm mixing it now. So if you want us to practicalize how to make chin chin, or make donut, or make cake, or make just any of these pastries, anyone at all you want us to practicalize, you will let me know at the comment section. Next time we'll work on it. Puff puff, donuts, meat pie, fish roll, fish pie, fish roll, buns, anyone at all, change anyone you want us to practice. You can tell me at the comment section, so that next time we'll work on it and bring it to life together. See you. Remember, this Kitchen Vibe Matchmaking and Love Relationship platform, we will come to learn how we come to find connection, find love, find relation, and learn how to make this relationship become sweet, enjoyable, vibrant, and lasting. So being able to bring your family together through your culinary expertise, through your ability to cook, ability to bring forth some surprises, some tiny things that will make them happy, is part of that relationship building. This 2025, we have said that we are going to spice off our relationship and make it to become perfect. Bring our relationship to be the stage where we can always say, yes, I have something vibrant going for me. It's a must for everybody. And so whatever thing it takes, we are bringing it to life, so that we'll be able to cultivate everything, be able to put in place everything that will make this relationship to be sweet. And one of those is be able to cut up some tiny things, bring forth some tiny surprises for your partner, for your family. It will help the relationship to become sweeter and enjoyable more. So that's why we're showcasing this. So let's know where you're watching from. Drop it at the comment section. Tell us what ingredients you use in making your own puff puff, because our own, we have used milk, using flour, we use sugar, and we use a pinch of salt. Then of course the major rising ingredient, which is yeast. That's what I've used to make today's home. And in no particular proportion, depending on your taste. Some people like too much sugar, so you add a lot of sugar. Some people don't want salt at all, so you don't add salt. Some people don't want milk, they're allergic to milk, so you don't add milk, you just use ordinary water. So anything at all you do with it, the important thing is that mix it very well, make sure it has a good consistency, and you keep it in a warm place and monitor it rise 2 times the size that it is now. By the time I'll be frying, it should be double this price. So it should be double this size. Then I'll know that it's ready for frying. Then I'll go ahead and fry it. Stay tuned and keep watch. Keep your fingers crossed until the puff puff is out from being made to rise. See you next time. Bye.